Changing of the guard. John Ashcroft out as Attorney General. Also, Don Evans as Secretary of Commerce. The fight for Fallujah. Intense battle. As American forces push toward the center of the city, several more tough days ahead. Too close for comfort. A near disaster on the runway at LAX. Does this happen more often than we're being told? And Lifeline. It sounds too good to be true. A pill that could help you lose weight and stop smoking.
From NBC News World Headquarters in New York, this is NBC Nightly News with Tom Brokaw.
Good evening. Major changes for the second term of President Bush were announced without fanfare at the White House this evening. Attorney General John Ashcroft and Commerce Secretary Don Evans, one of the president's closest friends, have resigned. Ashcroft, of course, was a lightning rod for criticism as he presided over the Patriot Act and other major changes in law enforcement following the attacks of 9/11. We're going to begin tonight with his resignation. NBC's Justice Department correspondent Pete Williams joins us now.
Tom, the announcement by Attorney General Ashcroft that he'll soon step down will end the tenure of the most controversial member of the Bush cabinet, but we hear tonight that he will stay on the job until a successor is named and confirmed. We also learned that the Attorney General's resignation letter was actually dated November 2nd, Election Day, written by hand to keep it confidential and detailing what he considers his successful record. Immediately after the September 11th attacks, Attorney General Ashcroft pushed quickly to change the top priority of the Justice Department from building cases and winning trials to stopping terror cells before they could stage suicide strikes. But he provoked controversy when he told Congress that his critics were giving support to America's enemies.
Your tactics only aid terrorists, for they erode our national unity and diminish our resolve.
His terror-fighting tactics, and to do this comes as no surprise. His friends say since 9/11, he's considered the job exhausting, and he's had health problems, too, that have taken their toll. Now, among possible successors, the names being mentioned most often are Larry Thompson, the former Deputy Attorney General, Mark Roscoe, the former governor of Montana, who headed the Bush-Cheney campaign, and Alberto Gonzales, close friend of the president and White House counsel, Tom.
All right, thanks very much, NBC's Pete Williams. And of course, second terms always mean a shakeup. The question tonight is this just the beginning, or will the changes be modest in the second term of George W. Bush? NBC's David Gregory at the White House. Now, David, some other very big names now will be very high on the speculation charts.
Absolutely, Tom, and certainly it does appear to be a shakeup. I think, as you suggest, the question is how gradual or how immediate. Another name that is widely expected to be among those leaving the administration, Tom Ridge, the president's good friend, former Pennsylvania governor, now, of course, Secretary of Homeland Security, brought in after the 9/11 attacks, expected after setting up that department that he will soon leave. And then you get, of course, to the all-important question of the president's national security team. The big names there, Rumsfeld, Rice, and Powell. Certainly Secretary Rumsfeld expected to go, but he's been hinting that transformation of the military is not yet complete. He may stick around. And you have Powell expected to go as well as Secretary of State, at odds with Secretary Rumsfeld. But when you saw Condoleezza Rice, she was widely expected to want to leave after this first term, but aides say that she now realizes there may be more of a calling for her in a second term, maybe as Secretary of State, maybe as Secretary of Defense, but perhaps another job for her to fulfill in the second term. One more word about Secretary of Commerce Don Evans. Some rumors that he might stay on, maybe even as Treasury Secretary, but ultimately aides say he just wanted to go home. Tom?
Back to Texas. Thanks very much, NBC. David Gregory tonight. It is already early Wednesday morning in Iraq, in Fallujah, the capital of the Iraqi insurgency. That's the up-close and personal and fierce view of one Marine unit today. And now to the bigger picture in the battle for Fallujah. Only 2 days into this battle, U.S. military officials say it is going pretty much according to their war plan. In fact, they claim their fight to take Fallujah is now ahead of schedule. So how long will it last? More on that tonight from NBC's Jim Miklaszewski at the Pentagon. Thanks very much, NBC. Jim Miklaszewski tonight. Up next, NBC News in depth. Brian Williams in the Middle East. New details on Yasser Arafat's latest condition as Palestinians prepare for a time of mourning. And later in this country, a pill that can help you lose weight and also quit smoking and improve your cholesterol. No, this is not a joke. It's coming out next year. NBC News in depth tonight. Condition critical. In Paris, Yasser Arafat has taken a turn for the worse. One senior Palestinian official said earlier today Arafat now just has hours to live. NBC's Brian Williams is in Tel Aviv again tonight with more on the Arafat vigil. Brian, what's the latest there?
Well, Tom, again today, this went back and forth. That meant rumors, even bulletins that... Tom.
Thanks very much, NBC's Brian Williams tonight. Up next, the chilling cockpit tapes. An air traffic close call that almost ended in disaster at LAX. The jury in the Scott Peterson murder trial has to start deliberating all over again. That's because a juror who apparently did what is described as her own research was thrown off the case today and replaced with an alternate. And a bizarre hostage situation today in downtown Los Angeles that happened at the Mexican consulate building. A man wearing a sign around his neck that read, "I lie, therefore I exist," and demanding media attention, took a notary clerk hostage. Police arrived as the man dragged a woman outside. An officer with a very good aim shot and wounded him. Officials still are trying to determine the motive, but said it was not terrorism. The woman was not hurt. Investigators from the National Transportation Safety Board said today that almost 300 people almost lost their lives on a busy Thursday afternoon last August when a 747 came very close to landing on top of another passenger jet at Los Angeles International Airport, LAX. And the NTSB warned that many more close calls may be going unreported. Here's NBC's Tom Costello.
On a clear day in Los Angeles last August, a close call that almost ended in disaster. Today, the NTSB released animation, realized his mistake, and ordered Southwest to abort takeoff.
Southwest 440, cancel takeoff clearance, hold in position.
Holding in position. That was close. Close.
NTSB investigators Cindy Rouse the close calls runway incursions and is concerned that many are going underreported. While the control tower told the Federal Aviation Administration of the incident in August, the NTSB learned of it from the Southwest crew that almost had that 747 land on top of them. While the number of runway incursions, New York.
I'll be right back.
NBC Nightly News with Tom Brokaw, brought to you in part by Aflac. Ask about it at work.
Nearly 300.
Okay, if you wanted to invent something that everyone would want, what would it be? Well, almost everyone would like to lose weight. What about all those people who want to quit smoking? Two tough challenges in life, and now, no kidding, one pill for both conditions. Here's NBC's chief science correspondent, Robert Bazell, tonight.
Karen Helmick struggled with weight all her life, but on the news, New York.
That's Nightly News for this Tuesday. I'm Tom Brokaw. I'll see you back here tomorrow night.
Tomorrow.
Good morning. Breaking news. You're looking live at the West Bank.